Hello, Internet, and welcome to The Nest. It is Big Wing Interactive's monthly show about everything under the sun, digital marketing. Welcome back. My name is Kellen and I'm a social media specialist here at Big Wing Interactive, and I'm joined, as always, by the lovely Sarah Hoffman, Senior Social Media Manager here at Big Wing Interactive.
Thank you, Kellen.
Yeah.
And our special Big Wing guest joining us today, we have social media specialist Brittany Willison and video content specialist Brian Collins. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So it's no secret that video content is on the rise. I mean, everybody is craving video these
big
days.
time.
Big time. Whether it's on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, it seems that all the social media outlets are doubling down on video. And in 2016, we actually saw some really unique video milestones. But fast forwarding to this year, what are some video trends that we can expect to see in marketing?
I think, like you said, people are craving video. So we already see it a lot now, maybe more than anything else. I think we're going to see it even more in 2017. I think we'll see it on some platforms that don't fully take advantage of it yet.
Yes.
I would count Snapchat in on that, and I would count Pinterest. We don't see a lot of video on Pinterest. So I think it's going to take over every aspect that it can, every platform possible. I think we're going to see video.
Does video for social have to be this sort of big production? Like, we're really lucky to do this in this big studio with the nice lights and cameras and everything like that. So does it have to be this big production and set up an ordeal, or can someone like a small business take advantage of it?
It doesn't have to be a big production at all. In fact, everything is sort of getting less expensive. Cameras are getting less expensive. The software is getting less expensive. You have software now, editing software that you can get online for free. So, I mean, there are some limitations. It's not professional, but it is accessible. As far as cameras goes, a lot of people could probably use their iPhone because of the resolution is getting so much better, and because you can even upload videos from your phone directly. But even cameras that a lot of people use, like DSLR cameras, they're fairly inexpensive, and they give you a really nice image a lot of bang for the buck on that.
Okay, so just maybe something where it's a little bit of a small investment up front, but it's going to pay dividends if you want to be fairly serious about video on a tight budget.
Right. Other things you might want to include are a good audio recorder, which you can probably get for $200 or $300.
Okay.
And a lapel microphone, something like that. But even, one of the trends that we're seeing is videos that don't really have sound to them. So they're very, very visual in that sense. But even still, depending upon what you're wanting to do, sound is going to be important if you're doing an interview, if you're doing a testimonial, where you need to hear someone say, your company is awesome, right? But other than that, I would strive for a good image overall and lots of movement. And pretty much anybody can learn to do that.
That's really interesting what you say about sound, because for Facebook best practices, when you see videos in the news feed, they automatically play without sound. So you really want to be able to capture the attention of your audience within that first 5-10 seconds and have good captions. But here's a fun fact about Facebook video. Over 100 million hours of video are viewed on Facebook per day. Isn't that kind of mind-blowing?
Yes.
And
Facebook,
they actually just announced, was it a couple days ago, that they are going to be releasing a stories feature, kind of similar to what Instagram stole from Snapchat, where people can share ephemeral videos and content, the kind that disappear after 24 hours. So Facebook is definitely trying to stay ahead of the game here. But other than Facebook, what are some other outlets that we can use and invest in with video content?
I would really, for 2017, I would really look for Snapchat. It released its IPO yesterday.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And I think overall the shortness of it, because most videos are getting shorter and shorter, or really, really longer for engagement. YouTube has introduced their new bumper ads, or 6 seconds, so they're getting more. But also, I think is going to drive the popularity of Snapchat in 2017 is going to be this sort of push of not having a record of what was going on. It's become a big thing, with the campaign and everything. And I think people are a little bit hesitant to put something on the internet that they know is going to be there for a long time. Now, as far as ads go, I think the popularity will drive a lot of marketing to Snapchat. So I would look towards that platform.
Yes, video ads definitely generate so much more engagement. It's wonderful. We've noticed that a lot.
Yeah, do you see social influencers kind of going in that direction as far as Snapchat, like social influencers kind of pushing more on Snapchat for video?
I think as of now, it's been difficult for the average person to be able to use Snapchat for ads. And I think with them going public, that we're going to see a change in that. I think agencies like Big Wing will be able to use Snapchat for advertising, especially because they are starting to do more targeted advertising, and that's going to be available for the public to use and to take advantage of.
That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
That'll be a huge change for us, but a fun one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so, being a business, and let's go back to we were talking about some of the stuff as far as investments. Is it going to be a huge investment if I really want to delve deep into video, or maybe if I just want to skim the surface? Like, what am I looking at as far as spending money if I'm doing video like on my own?
Well, getting started, I think you can make a decision. Are you going to go with a company to do it for you? You're going to spend thousands of dollars. Or are you going to learn how to do it yourself and do it in-house and still spend thousands getting started on a camera, a tripod, audio equipment, but in the long run, you have that to do for the rest of the time you're going to be working on it. So it's kind of a decision you make. I think I would say have someone in-house learn how to do it.
Absolutely, just like you two.
Yes.
And so both of you really combined efforts last year, and you were really instrumental in capturing a lot of video content, evergreen video content, and B-roll for our Confluence conference. And so give us a little description of your strategy and how you approach capturing video content that can be used and repurposed in the future.
Sure. I think our overall strategy was to get as many testimonials from some of the speakers that we could, in addition to the attendees, obviously. We want to promote the conference, and that's the best way to do it. As far as B-roll goes, I think our strategy was to get something that obviously would last long, that we could use this year to promote from last year. So we got a lot of crowd shots that you could had long legs, right? That you could use year after year. We used at one point, took a GoPro and did some time-lapse photography of the facility being filled up with people. I think that's something that you could use every year. Even if you changed venues, it gives you a sense of enormity of and importance of the event that something like that can speak to.
What about a drone? I hear a rumor, Brian, that you have a drone going on.
A drone, yeah, just got a drone.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time in the office.
It is. I haven't flown it in the office yet, but we still have time to do that.
Maybe today's
soon.
the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, the point is that video is on the rise, and users are going to be demanding more interactive content, and that's just really exciting. And it's something that we definitely need to consider moving on and moving our business in the right direction by taking advantage of video.
Absolutely.
And it seems to be easier than it really think it could be.
Yeah.
Definitely, especially with, Brian was talking about it earlier with iPhones. And the camera is one of their main selling points. It's something that they really tout,
Well, and the apps that you can use for editing.
True.
I
for one, have used Splice to do projects, and I don't think you would ever know that it was all shot on my phone, just simple
Nice.
videos. If you were making a product shot for your small business on Instagram, you don't have to worry about that shot being blown up because it's just made for Instagram. It doesn't necessarily have to be made for a big screen. So you can do a lot with just your phone, especially for using product shots and just showing off what you have to offer.
So that's interesting. You were talking about Splice, that app. So let's say I'm a business and I want to do it on my own. I want to do video on my own. What are some tools that I should look into picking up to kind of get started?
Well, it depends. If you're going to get started with just your phone,
Yeah.
that's how you.
Yeah.
want
So
okay.
let's say hypothetically just your phone.
So you already have your phone.
Yeah.
You can look into the apps. So iMovie, Clipper, Vimeo has an app now, and Vimeo is one of my favorite resources because not only do they have an app now for video editing, but they also have on the app all of videos that are on Vimeo. And I don't know if you've ever just sat and looked at Vimeo videos, but it's so inspiring. The videos are incredible. It's a lot of good stuff. It makes you want to get out there and make your own.
Very cool.
Yeah, very, very good for ideas.
Yeah, it's good to have a community where you can share content and inspiration for each other.
And they do a good job of putting together the best stuff they have, and they just put it on a loop, so you can just sit there and watch videos that are the choices for Vimeo's choices.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
I would add to that, one thing that I would tell someone who's, let's say, has a small business or doesn't really know that much about video and they only have their phone, I push people in the direction of using something like YouTube's Director app, which is really good for someone who doesn't really know what they're doing yet, because it not only can you produce the entire thing with your phone, you can upload the video to your channel through your phone, and you can edit it inside. And the best part of it is they have lists. The app has lists of different types of video that you want. So they have different types of testimonials, different type of bumper ads, different types of product placement or how-to things. And so they have everything set up for you. All you have to do is go into the template, take the shot, go to the next shot, go to the next shot, put your voice over whatever you want to say, hit publish, and you can send that to YouTube in one.
I could see that
So
being like
much.
really popular for like a travel website or a travel blog.
Yeah.
Yes, or
That's
food
like the
blog
way
even,
to do
yeah.
it, probably.
And it's just great because you don't have to go to film school and have years and years of experience to make a really decent quality film anymore. These apps are so convenient, anybody can do it.
Well, the beauty is you can find everything you need to know online. So
Yeah.
you can YouTube something if you don't know how to do it. And
WebMD.
So speaking about length and best practices, I've always wondered and considered length for videos. So is there any type of guideline on how long or how short a video should be? I mean, they all come in different forms and lengths, but what is really, for social media specifically, what is a good rule of thumb in terms of video length?
YouTube is just sort of, I think their recommendation is like 60 seconds or something. Instagram is 30 seconds. I believe these
ads,
are
yes.
recommended
Yeah.
sort of videos. And as I mentioned, YouTube bumper ads are 6 seconds. So I think the trend is a little bit towards shorter. And if I were going to give someone just starting out advice, I would say try and make the shortest possible ad you can. If you can master that, it's like writing, right? The shorter you want something, the longer it's going to take me to deliver that. You've probably heard
More
if I had
creative you
more,
have to be. Yeah.
right? If I had more time, I've written you a long or a shorter letter, right? It's the same procedure. And if you can master that, you can pretty much do any long form in the future.
I think that's so true. If you're doing something on your own, shorter is better. If it's a big production, sometimes you can get away with a longer video. Some of my favorite ads are 4-minute long videos, but not everyone
Like the
can
new,
do that.
the new Budweiser ad?
Yeah.
I'm like tear up every time.
That Super Bowl ad. Oh man,
really
it's
good.
so good.
Big productions, they're telling a story and they're easy to engage their audience. Smaller ads, if you're doing it yourself, I think 30 seconds or less.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, the bottom line is we all have short attention spans these days, so
Oh,
keep
yes.
it short, keep it
Especially
sweet,
true.
add a call to action, and most importantly, use and view your analytics. And if it's working, repeat, right?
Well, and take advantage of those first few seconds. You have about 10 seconds to capture your audience. If you don't capture them in the first 10 seconds, they're out.
It's gone.
That's
yeah,
a good
and it's
rule of
true.
thumb.
It's funny too. It's like you may not think that's true, but then you think of stuff that you're watching just personally. You're like, oh yeah, that's totally true. If I'm not hooked in 10 seconds, I'm out.
Yep.
And mastering the short video, I think, forces you to get to the point early on.
Yes.
And that habit is something that you can carry on once you start making longer ones.
Love
I
it.
think.
I mean, I would actually be really interested to see, now that Vine has gone away and Vine were 6-second videos,
Oh,
I would be
RIP
interested,
Vine.
favorite social platform ever. I would be really interested to see if, former Vine stars actually got into advertising just based on how witty and quick some of those videos were and how great
I
they
think
were.
we'll see another platform pop up very similar to
They
Vine.
just need to integrate it into Twitter. It's all good.
I agree.
Facebook stories.
Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to go around and just kind of do a roundtable of what were some of your favorite videos on social that you saw in 2016?
I said it before.
Yeah.
Mine it was almost 4 minutes long. It was the Chatbooks ad. I don't know if you remember it. It was long, but it had over 51 million views.
Wow.
It was great. It's told a story. It was funny. It was targeting moms, but I'm not a mom, and I loved it. And yeah, it was just.
You're a dog mom.
Yeah, I'm a dog mom.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I take enough pictures to for it to be relevant to me. But
That's fascinating because it isn't really, once again, the length maybe isn't that important. If it really is good quality content, people will engage and watch
well,
it.
and it was something you wanted to share. It's something you wanted to tag people in and be like, look at this. It's funny.
Yes, absolutely. What about you, Brian?
I think one that there were several. One that sort of stuck out with me was a a commercial. It was a long form commercial, but from the company Knorr, Knorr. They do like condiments and spices. They're like a 150-year-old company, but they made this really, really interesting actual person ad, sort of like the Dove commercials where they brought real people in and everything. And it was sort of like a matchmaking. So they brought people in, they interviewed them, and they asked them different questions, which included what kind of food do you like? Is it spicy? Do you like savory? Do you like sweet? And they matched people up based upon their food tastes.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they had them have dinner. And for some weird reason, I don't know why this was included, but it's kind of fascinating. They had a rule where you had to feed the other person. Right? So you see these candid moments where they're trying to feed one another and they're laughing, and they build this. They cut the video so that you see the growing relationship between these two strangers based upon this food and the intimacy of feeding one another. And at the end, the disclaimer was, find your profile, right? Your flavor profile. And so they mixed this idea of online dating and profiles with the culinary term of profile. And I thought that was really creative, and I can see people really loving that.
Speaking of food, my favorite videos are definitely Tasty. BuzzFeed's Tasty. I mean, Tasty runs the gamut from kind of wholesome recipes to like the most obnoxiously unhealthy things, like, what was it? Loaded pizza nachos is a thing, or like
Sign me up.
cauliflower stuffed cheese nuggets, like whatever that is, that's a thing. I absolutely love Tasty videos. BuzzFeed has hit the nail on the head with that. They're great, and I'm addicted to them all day long. I watch
Yeah,
videos.
you could watch. I mean, you could watch those all day. Even if you watch them before, you're like, oh yeah, this was so good.
I know. Even when I'm not hungry, I watch them when I get hungry again.
I actually use them to make stuff though. Like
So
I pause it.
So you actually do it.
Oh, I save them and then I go back later and I make the recipes because they look so easy. It's like, oh, they can do it in like 6 seconds.
They
I
look
can
easy,
do that.
but the preparation sometimes involved is a little.
I put it all in
Super
like the bowls and.
But it's fun because I have a very short attention span, so I love the fast, speedy recipes
Same.
from you.
So you
What
like
about
have
you,
your phone right there in the
Yep,
kitchen,
and I'll pause
you
it
just.
as I go.
Nice.
I wondered how that worked. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. But yeah.
It's easy.
Interesting.
My favorite videos that I've seen on social, I can't pick one in particular because this certain brand is all good. It's just all incredible to me. Is Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you guys ever play that on Sega Genesis, like way back in the day? Well, they're still putting games out for it on different consoles, but their social media, is absolute fire. Please go look it up as soon as possible. But their videos are just so genuinely funny. I don't know who runs that marketing department, but I want to get them to Confluence Conference. If you somehow watch this video, Sonic the Hedgehog social, please come to Confluence Conference. Please. Okay, that's the end of my rant. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, great stuff.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's so apparent that video content is so integral into increasing conversions these days, especially live video. And if you want to learn more about live video, I've actually written a blog on our bigwing.com website titled Benefiting Your Business with Facebook Live, where I share some tips and best practices for how and when to use Facebook Live. And of course, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Yeah, and a big thanks once again to Brittany and Brian.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
all
much.
for coming so much. And that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you all next month. Again, thank you so much for watching. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much, and never stop learning.